You know, Terraria isn't just Terraria. It's art. There's technique. There's beauty. There's love. Nah, not really, bro. I'm gonna be honest. But there's a lot of tricks you could use in this game, in early game specifically, that can improve your game. There's a lot of stuff. I've been playing the game for a hot minute. I actually play it as a job, matter of fact. And my favorite part of the game is the early game, and I feel like I've learned a lot of tricks that most players don't use, or just they're overlooked. So I'm gonna show you 10 of the most devious tricks you can use in early game that'll help you master the game. Things like dodges or mechanics, and overall just little knowledge about the game. I'm boxing you up, buddy.
Let me go!
Yep, look at him. Trapped.
Dude, let me go!
Alright, so funny enough, the first thing we're going to go over is trapping enemies. Ways you can trap enemies. There's a very simple trap you can set up in early game that'll help you defend your base. So simply just find an area where the ground goes up by 1, and you're going to place a block right here, and here, and here. Then you're just going to hammer these 2 blocks once, and then this block, like that. So basically you can walk over this, but when a mob tries to, this is what happens.
I can't fucking compare.
So what you can do is just set up 2 of these things on either side of your base, and you are perfectly protected from any zombie attacks. Okay, why did that one jump over? Bro, what? Dude, you're ruining my video. Every other mob is getting stuck, but then one just jumps over. That's weird. Alright guys, I looked into it a little bit more. Some mobs are slightly smaller than others. There's height variation, thickness variation, just like real life. And this trick only works on the chunkier dudes. But here's a method that works on all dudes. A non-fat phobic method. Okay, I didn't want to resort to this. This is a very more ugly method. But if you use 3 crafting tables, they can't get you. Mobs don't jump when they stand on crafting tables, and if this is too tall, they have no way of getting up without jumping. So if you're looking for a 100% reliable method, this is gonna be it. Also, you don't have to make it look ugly. Here are some other designs I came up with that I think just look a lot better. And it kind of almost immerses you in the game. It's like you're setting up a defense in your base. I think it'd be kind of pointless to set up something that looks ugly just so a couple mobs don't get in your base. But this is more of like a discreet way of doing it. And dude, the water one is so sick. Dude, honestly, this water one is so sick. I love this. If enemies could drown, this would be perfect, dude. It's like I'm forcing them to just hide in my water. We got another goober coming. And you're stuck.
Oh, fuck.
It's actually so sick. I just got 2 pawns on my base protecting me. And yeah, this is the other design that I was talking about earlier. It's a lot more discreet, but of course, when I was testing it, I found out the little dudes can get past. So I guess use that one at your own risk. But anyways, on to the next thing. Alright guys, so another thing. Mobs with platforms, they try to follow you, right? So they'll jump up if you're above them to get on the platform, but they'll also like follow you down, right? So we can actually use this mechanic at our base to trap enemies. Let me show you. Alright, so the method is extremely simple, and you're just going to be very confused when you see this. You're going to put a platform at your head level, just like that. And you only need it to be 2 wide, technically, but I'm just going to make it however wide, doesn't really matter. Make sure there's platforms on the bottom, and your trap is done. Well, technically how we're going to make this work is we're actually going to be elevated by 2 blocks where our base is going to be at. And now your trap is done. Basically, because you're above the mobs, they will try to jump up to get to you in any way they can. And because the platform kind of intersects them, they have to decide whether or not to go up or down. And because you're above them, they jump in the trap. Yep, there we go. Also, if you guys want to get specific with the elevation where this actually works and where it doesn't, you can be 1 block beneath them, as you can see. But any more than that, and once they spot you, they'll just fall right out. In hard mode, you get bubble blocks too, which can hold liquids. So you can pair it up with that. And if you just go in your house, these guys will jump right in and just kill themselves. Look how beautiful this is. So just make a beautiful tower, just like that. Bam. Alright, so I think we need to talk about something else here. I've covered this in one of my recent videos about my mechanic series, so you might recognize it if you've seen that, but it's about gravestones. Gravestones are pretty annoying. They take extremely long to break, and actually they're the hardest thing in the game to break. So they're extremely inconvenient, and they spawn ghosts. So you kind of just end up leaving them around until a graveyard biome starts, and this can all be prevented. So they take a very long time to break. Let's time it, okay? My brain told me 3 seconds, but they can actually be broken instantly just by breaking the block beneath them. Boom. You don't need to wait 3 seconds. You can just... It's extremely fast. But here's the thing. Do you notice something? Where are the ghosts? Everyone's afraid of ghosts spawning from graves you break. Where are the ghosts? Well, let's take a quick look at the Terraria wiki. They only spawn when it's nighttime, when the player's in a graveyard biome, and when the tombstone was placed below the surface. In other words, you can break gravestones instantly, and they won't spawn any ghosts if you break them during day. Thank me later. Alright guys, without a doubt, I'm about to show you the most useful trick on this entire list. The most devious, the most flashy, the most convenient. A trick you will genuinely use always. It ain't like a trap outside your base where you may or may not make it. It's just something where you're going to use constantly in every situation of the game. So the thing we're going to talk about is using platforms to get around easier. But you might be thinking, duh, of course, why is this a trick? Well, it's because platforms can be placed on literally anything. Flowers, sunflowers, cactus, plants, cattails, spikes, rocks, mushrooms, whatever that is, vines, background walls, pots, lily pads, bamboo, pretty much literally anything, ever. And you can place them diagonal too. That's the other thing. So the reason this is so useful is because it helps you get around your world in ways that you wouldn't have known otherwise. That was so sick. That was so sick. Alright, so let me show you the top 3 places where I use this the most. Okay, so when you try to explore one side of your world and it's nighttime, you're gonna run into zombies almost always. But you don't really have to fight them. You don't have to struggle through fighting them while a demon eye comes at you from the sky. You can just use trees to pass them whenever you want. Oh, look, another one. And yeah. I think if there's a trick I always use, it is this one. I find this especially useful in the jungle though. As you can see, we just have some like piranhas here, but because we have lily pads and bamboo, you don't actually need to go in the water. This area, for example, there's a perfect vine right here. Look at this. Boom. Boom. And if you didn't know that trick, I mean, what are you gonna do here? Probably just use the background walls, try to get up, do something like that maybe. I truly think this opens so many doorways when you actually know about it and use it correctly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop in a new world and just run around the terrain and try to incorporate this in any way I can. So you guys can see it's like actually pretty useful.
Perfect. The zombies are coming.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Bro, you know what's crazy? Even this formation right here, you see this spike? You can place it diagonally. So literally, bro, look at this. They're just asking for me to use it, bro. I mean, can you make that jump without it? No. Ooh! Bro, look at that. Boom. Yes, look at this, dude. I have no way of getting up. Alright, so final thoughts and opinions on this trick. There's definitely some times where you can overuse this. I think there was multiple times where I might have been trying to incorporate it a little more than I should have been. Got a little hill right here. Yup.
Got a little hill right here. Yup.
Yeah, like that didn't make any sense. But hopefully you also saw me dodging those mobs, bro. It's actually the most useful thing in the game. But that also brings up a very important topic. You probably think, okay, it's decent, but I'll probably never use it. I mean, if I see some zombies, I'll probably just like attack them and stuff. Like, I don't know if I could really like try to place some stuff on a tree and then, yeah, it just kind of seems too hard. So that's why I'm going to reveal to you how I do it. So my next tip is to bind zoom in and zoom out. I use these all the time to just adjust my screen depending on the position I'm in. If I had to place platforms on trees and I was all the way zoomed out, like, okay, I'm still succeeding. That's not the point. Even I would be failing. It's hard. It's hard. But if you notice something, when you zoom in, your cursor actually takes up less space. Look at this. It can fit inside of a block, my cursor. When I zoom out, it's literally larger than the block. How precise you can be changes. If you're fighting a boss, you want to be fully zoomed out. But anytime you're in like a cave or something, it's going to be far easier to see mobs like this compared to this. It's just so much easier to be precise and build over enemies, dodge enemies, trap enemies when you're slightly zoomed in. And I think too many people don't actually care about this setting. Very underrated trick. Bind your zoom in and zoom out keys. Alright, but speaking of binding stuff, if you're using recall potions, they should be binded to one of your main hotkeys. And you should always keep them in that slot, no matter what. Recalls work so quick, but people are usually pulling them out of their inventory like mid-battle. Where are my recall potions? Yum, yum, yum. If you know the exact bind they're in, and if they're always in that section, it's so quick. Like, if you just out in the wild and you see one of these dudes, you're gonna want to be able to, like, TP away quick. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, guys. Alright guys, so now I'm going to go over some movement tricks, basic movement tricks to dodge enemies in the beginning of the game. Also, disclaimer, I have gone over this stuff before in a very old video, a year and a half ago. But thankfully, I've gained a lot more people on my channel, a lot more subs, so I think it's worth going over again. Enjoy. You just jump towards them and go under. Anytime enemies are above you, they will jump to attack. So if you just sit below like a block, they will jump over you. Boom. I've gone over that before, but if you don't know, there it is. You don't have to like go to where there's a slope like this. You can actually just place the block yourself. Also, something extremely important to know. I feel like I keep saying extremely important to know, but this is extremely important to know. This trick, if they're walking down a slope, this trick does not work. You cannot go under them. It will not jump over you ever. You just can't. So it has to be on like flat ground where you place a block and they go, whoa. Whoa, why did this dude got weird behavior? Where you place a block and they go over you. Next trick, I've gone over this before in the past, but this is slightly different. I've improved it since I've talked about it. What you're gonna do is you're gonna jump towards the zombie and land right in front of him, okay? And if you do it all correctly... Oh! Alright, ready? Boom. You just jump towards him and go under. You wanna be coming down as you get within like 2 blocks range of him. And that'll allow you to just go right under him. As you can see, you can't jump enemies in expert or master mode. So just jump towards them, and you should be able to go under them every time. But that could happen a lot, where you just smack the dude in the face. So like, you gotta get some height to your jump. We ain't doing no weak jumps out here. And you can even combine the two. Little jump, little jump, little jump, Third time's a charm, okay. So many people, when they start the game, they hit trees to try to get like some sort of fruit out of it for the buff. See if we can get one even.
It's slightly rare. Dang, we're not getting one. Dang!
Oh, there we go, finally. So you eat that and you get your little mini improvements to all your stats. And you get a little bit quicker. But there's also sunflowers, which increase your speed. So for this trick, what you're going to do is you're going to grab the sunflowers, and then as you're running, you're going to place them to increase your speed. Wait, sunflowers need grass beneath them to grow and to be placed. So if you just tap the block beneath it, it'll break. So it's actually just like the same as hitting a tree. Actually kind of faster. You can just look how fast I'm going, bro. This is just the flower buff. Boom. And if I had a platform right now, I would do my platform jump and I would get up there. And if you do both of these things combined, your speed's gonna be crazy, dude. This is like early game Hermes boots. Okay, this image you're currently looking at is Helen Keller. She's gonna be important for the next few tricks. So I don't know about you guys, but every time I'm in early game, there's usually a point where I'm exploring a cave and I run out of torches, or I just end up with like one that I have to place and pick up and carry around. Now this could just be me because I'm trying to go too fast and I don't prepare enough. But if this is you too, then I want to introduce you to the Helen Keller method. It's a method I created myself. It's a series of tricks you could use to overcome the problem of darkness. Put them all together and you can thrive in any underground dark ecosystem. So first I just want to bust some myths and then give my solutions to them. So most players would say if you can't see in the dark to just look at your mini-map. However, your map only gets revealed when there's already light on your screen. If you can't already see, it won't show on the map. And second, you might have heard that you could throw copper coins for light. And this is true, however, there needs to already be existing light to reflect off of the coin. If I just throw it again without the light, there's no sparkle. The devs were getting specific with this mechanic. But there is a way to get money to glow without needing light to reflect off of it. And that's when a mob picks up your money. So if you're in a dark ditch dying to a mob, the best thing you can literally do is throw your money. Let it rob you so you can see and kill it. And if you hit the jackpot, a worm will pick up your money and start glowing around the screen. And this is like best case scenario. You'll be seeing everything. And here's the same screen without the mobs. Can you see the difference? I kind of get clowned on for this trick, but it's genuinely good. I just drink my coffee, it tastes like water milk. Oh. Also, you might come across like some sort of edge. And what you can do is just throw your torch. You don't have to be holding a torch for it to show light. And boom, now we know there's something down there. So I'm gonna just try to drop down a little bit. Oh, well, let's say maybe you don't want to use your last torch, or maybe you don't even have any. What you can do is just jump off with a cobweb. And if you're spamming place, you'll catch yourself. Anytime there's a background wall, or if you just land on like the floor.
Alright, yo, you guys want to drop in that little water pool down there?
Yeah, I'm going. It's deep as fuck.
No. Wait, how did you live? What did you do?
I placed a cobweb, bro. He followed me. But another thing I like to do is you could actually combine the two methods. This is like the most pro thing ever. You throw the torch, and then you follow it. Boom. That's like, dude, and if you're playing with the homies and you do this and they see this, bro, this is how you get clout. Alright? Oh, I caught it a little too early. Well, let's just say for the sake of the argument, you're completely trapped, no money, no torches, in the complete darkness. Well, this is the true Helen Keller method right here. Remember those sunflowers I told you to get earlier? Well, they can come in handy. Okay, so for real, I truly do not know where I am. As you can see, I can see the outline of my player, but if I move it down here, the sunflower gets cut off, so I can tell there's blocks here. Yep, the blocks go down. But then there's a big space here. That's a fall. There's a giant fall here. But is there blocks over here? No, that's just a giant fall. Well, you know what that means. Let me find my character, get the cobwebs, and just jump. I don't know where I am right now. Boom. Okay. So yeah, you really just need cobwebs and sunflowers, and that's the true Helen Keller method. And also, I don't think any of us are this perceptive. However, if you move it down and it turns red, and you can see it squiggling around a little bit, that's how you know there's water. Because why would it be like squiggling around? Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, but honestly, I think if you find yourself in that situation, you should just kill yourself or exit and, relog. But, I'm a hardcore guy. Sometimes we gotta pull out the sunflowers and, you know what I'm saying? Feel our surroundings. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully now with all this new knowledge, some of your neuro links developed in your brain, and you can master early game now. Thanks for watching. Also, here are 2 other videos that I think are pretty good if you want to watch them.